Welcome to this video on how to do a oil and oil filter change on your Jeep Commander. This engine is the 3.0 V6 CRD engine. First, you will need the following things. New oil for your engine. An oil filter removal tool, a new oil filter with seal and a oil sump plug washer. The kind of oil you need is fully synthetic 5 watts -30. To start, warm the car up until the engine is slightly warm. Do not warm it up all the way, it should just be warm to the touch. If it's too hot, then just wait until it cools down to the temperature you'd be comfortable with. Ensure the engine is off, and remove the oil filler cap. Jack the car up if you wish, but it's not essential. It just makes it much easier. With a tub and a socket, go under the car and locate the drain plug for the engine sump. It's actually quite far back. You can see that this has a plastic wall inside the hole. The bolt faces to the rear of the car. When you remove it, the oil shoots out of the sump and hits this back wall. It makes a wide jet come directly down towards the ground. When you undo the bolt, be mindful that it's quite long. Make sure you have a wide tub below it, because it comes out fast. I don't want you to get a rolling pin round the back of your head from the wife for getting oil all over the drive. Once the oil is coming out, leave it to drain and take the sump plug back to the engine bay of the car. You might as well change the filter now while the oil is draining. The design of this filter is very good. It makes it easy to change rather than having it on the side of the engine. Start by taking your removal tool and putting it around the cap. Tighten it and carefully turn it anti-clockwise until you can remove it by hand. Once you remove the filter cap, pull the old filter off the center bit, and throw it away. Also remove the large seal and the small seal pictured here. Your new filter should have come with new ones. Put the new seals on the oil filter cap, and place the new filter on the center bit. It doesn't matter which way around it goes. Next, take a towel or kitchen roll, and mop out the oil filter housing the best you can. Now we need to put the sump plug back into the oil sump. We do this before putting the oil filter back on, as it's recommended to fill some of the oil via the oil filter, and the rest by the oil fill port. Remove the old copper washer from the sump plug and replace it with the new one. Go back under the car and it should have stopped draining. Put the sump plug back into the sump and tighten it with your socket. Make it nice and tight. Then, pour oil into the oil filter housing until it seems to stop draining. I put in 1 liter before it started to get too full. I recommend using a funnel for this. Once you get to this stage, pour even more oil into the engine via the traditional oil filler port. You'll notice that when you fill the engine, the level in the oil filter housing goes down. I put in about 9 liters in total. After your first bottle, take a reading on the dipstick every so often so that you don't overfill. Once the level is halfway, that should be good. Personally, I fill to just above halfway to account for any pockets of air or settling oil pockets. Now you can put the oil filter housing cap back on, which contains the new filter. Smear some oil on the new large seal and put it in the housing and tighten by hand, clockwise. Then use your oil filter wrench or strap to tighten it so that it's all the way flush. It doesn't have to be super tight, so avoid using excessive force. Then simply put your oil filler cap back onto the engine bay. You're almost done. Now start the car and let it get up to temperature. Once it does, look for any warning lights. It's a Jeep, so you're bound to have at least some, but look for new ones. Then, check the oil filter cap and underneath the car for any leaks. If there's no leaks, then you're good to go. I recommend that you drive it for a week, and then recheck your oil level. You may need to top it up again. I didn't have to, and the oil has stayed constant after the change. But it's good to check. Your oil and filter change is now complete. I hope this video helped you in changing your oil yourself. Perhaps you saved money. All in all, the total cost for this oil change was around the £45 mark. Thanks for watching.